April Fool's Day, sometimes called All Fool's Day, is celebrated every year on April 1st by playing practical jokes and spreading hoaxes. The jokes and the victims are called April Fools. People playing April Fool jokes expose the prank by shouting April Fool. Some newspapers, magazines, and other published media report fake stories, which are usually explained the next day or below the news section in small letters. Although popular since the 19th century, the day is not a public holiday in any country. Geoffrey Chaucer's The Canterbury Tales, 1392, contains the first recorded association between April 1st and foolishness. Origins. The custom of setting aside a day for the playing of harmless pranks upon one's neighbor is recognized widely throughout the world. In Chaucer's Canterbury Tales, 1392, the Nun's Priest's Tale is set in March big and 30 days, and two modern scholars believe that there is a copying error in the extant manuscripts and that Chaucer actually wrote Sin March was gone, thus the passage originally meant 32 days after March, i.e. the 2nd of May, the anniversary of the engagement of King Richard II of England to Anne of Bohemia, which took place in 1381. Readers apparently misunderstood this line to mean 32 March, i.e. April 1st. Chaucer's tale, The Vain Cock Chanticleer, is tricked by a fox. In 1508, French poet Eloy d'Amerval referred to a poisson d'avril, April Fool, literally fish of April, a possible reference to the holiday. In 1539, Flemish poet Edouard de Deen wrote of a nobleman who sent his servants on foolish errands on April 1st. In 1686, John Aubrey referred to the holiday as Fool's Holy Day, the first British reference. On April 1, 1698, several people were tricked into going to the Tower of London to see the lions washed. In the Middle Ages, New Year's Day was celebrated on March 25 in most European towns. In some areas of France, New Year's was a week-long holiday ending on April 1. Some writers suggest that April Fools originated because those who celebrated on January 1 made fun of those who celebrated on other dates. The use of January 1 as New Year's Day was common in France by the mid-16th century, and this date was adopted officially in 1564 by the Edict of Roussillon. In the Netherlands, the origin of April Fool's Day is often attributed to the Dutch victory at Brielle in 1572, where the Spanish Duke Alvarez de Toledo was defeated. Op the 1st of April verloor Alvarez in Brielle is a Dutch proverb which can be translated to On the 1st of April Alva lost his glasses. In this case, the glasses Brielle in Dutch serve as a metaphor for Brielle. This theory, however, provides no explanation for the international celebration of April Fool's Day. Although no biblical scholar or historian are known to have mentioned a relationship, some have expressed the belief that the origins of April Fool's Day may go back to the Genesis flood narrative. In a 1908 edition of the Harper's Weekly, cartoonist Bertha R. MacDonald wrote, "Authorities gravely back with it to the time of Noah and the Ark." The London Public Advertiser of March 13, 1769, printed, "The mistake of Noah sending the dove out of the ark before the water had abated, on the first day of April. And to perpetuate the memory of this deliverance it was thought proper Whoever forgets a remarkable circumstance to punish them by sending them upon some sleeveless errand similar to that ineffectual message upon which the bird was sent by the patriarch. Long-standing customs. United Kingdom. In the UK, an April Fool joke is revealed by shouting "April Fool" at the recipient, who becomes the April Fool. A study in the 1950s by folklorists Iona and Peter Opie found that in the UK, and in countries whose traditions derived from the UK, the joking ceased at midday. A person playing a joke after midday is the April Fool themselves. In Scotland, April Fool's Day was traditionally called Huntergauk Day, although this name has fallen into disuse. The name is a corruption of Hunt the Gauk. Gauk being Scots for a cuckoo or a foolish person. Alternative terms in Gaelic would be Lanargockerich Gauking Day or Leroyna Cuthage, the day of running the cuckoo. The traditional prank is to ask someone to deliver a sealed message that supposedly requests help of some sort. In fact, the message reads, "Dinner laugh, dinner smile. Hunt the Gauk another mile." The recipient, upon reading it, will explain he can only help if he first contacts another person and sends the victim to this next person with an identical message with the same result. In England, a fool is known by different names around the country, including a noodle, gobby or noddy. Ireland. In Ireland, it was traditional to entrust the victim with an important letter to be given to a named person. That person would then ask the victim to take it to someone else, and so on. The letter, when finally opened, contained the words, "Send the fool further." 14. Poland. In Poland, Prima Aprilis, the 1st of April in Latin, is a day in which many jokes are told. Various hoaxes are prepared by people, media, which sometimes cooperate to make the information more credible, and even public institutions. Serious activities are usually avoided. This conviction is so strong that the anti-Turkish alliance with Leopold I, signed on April 1, 1683, was backdated to March 31. Nordic countries, Danes, Finns, Icelanders, Norwegians and Swedes celebrate April Fool's Day, Aprilsna in Danish, Aprilipäiva in Finnish. Most news media outlets will publish exactly one false story on April 1. For newspapers, this will typically be a first-page article but not the top headline. April fish. In Italy, France, Belgium, the Netherlands, and French-speaking areas of Switzerland and Canada, April 1 tradition is often known as April fish, Poissons d'avril in French, April vis in Dutch, Peste April in Italian. This includes attempting to attach a paper fish to the victim's back without being noticed. Such fish feature prominently on many late 19th through early 20th century French April Fool's Day postcards. Many newspapers also spread a false story on April Fool's Day, and a subtle reference to a fish is sometimes given as a clue. India. In India, there have been numerous references to April Fool's Day in both cinema and popular literature, and people are jovially associated with the day in Indian cinema. The Hindi movie April Fool, along with its title song, is popular. Romania. In Romania, an April Fool joke is revealed by shouting "Pacliala de 1 Aprili," which means April 1st hoax, at the recipient, who becomes the April Fool. April Fool's Day pranks, as well as people playing pranks on one another on April Fool's Day. Elaborate practical jokes have appeared on radio and TV stations, newspapers, websites, and have been performed by large corporations. In one famous prank from 1957, the BBC broadcast a film in the Panorama Current Affairs series purporting to show Swiss farmers picking freshly grown spaghetti in what they called the Swiss spaghetti harvest. The BBC were later flooded with requests to purchase a spaghetti plant, forcing them to declare the film a hoax on the news the next day. On April Fool's Day 2016, online football news channel Goal.com falsely reported that FC Barcelona winger Lionel Messi agreed to a €500 million deal to sign with Real Madrid for 5 years. The reporter's name used in the article was Lipaloof, which is April Fool spelled backward. With the advent of the Internet and readily available global news services, April Fool's pranks can catch and embarrass a wider audience than ever before. Comparable prank days. December 28, the equivalent day in Spain and Hispanic America, is also the Christian day of celebration of the Day of the Holy Innocents. The Christian celebration is a holiday in its own right, a religious one, but the tradition of pranks is not, though the latter is observed yearly. After somebody plays a joke or a prank on somebody else, the joker usually cries out, in some regions of Hispanic America, "Innocente palomita cutie de jaste engañar, you innocent little dove that let yourself be fooled," not to be confused with the second translation of palomita, which is popcorn. In Mexico, the phrase is inocente para siempre, which means innocent forever. In Argentina, the prankster says que la inocencia te valga, which roughly translates as a piece of advice on not to be as gullible as the victim of the prank. In Spain, it is common to say just inocente, which in Spanish can mean innocent but also gullible. In Colombia, the term used is pasarla por inocente, which roughly means, "I'm innocent, it was just a joke." In Belgium, this day is also known as the Day of the Innocent Children or Day of the Stupid Children. It used to be a day where parents, grandparents, and teachers would fool the children in some way. But the celebration of this day has died out in favor of April Fool's Day. Nevertheless, on the Spanish island of Menorca, Dia de Engañar, Fooling Day, is celebrated on April 1 because Menorca was a British possession during part of the 18th century. In Brazil, the Dia da Mentira, Day of the Liar, is also celebrated on April 1.